It's January 6, 1950. A blizzard has descended upon Fort Wayne, Indiana, a white shroud silencing the city. The wind howls, the snow piles high, and the streets are deserted. Inside the Fort Wayne Armory, a different kind of silence is about to fall, one that will echo through basketball history. Tonight, the Fort Wayne Pistons are scheduled to face the mighty Minneapolis Lakers, led by the towering George Mikan. But the weather has other plans. Tonight, the game nobody watched will be played. The official attendance? 7. Yes, 7 souls brave enough, or perhaps foolish enough, to venture out into the storm. A handful of die-hard fans, a few reporters, and a couple of bewildered concession stand workers. The atmosphere is non-existent. The few who are here are bundled up, more concerned with staying warm than watching the game, and one can't help but wonder if this game should have been postponed. It was surreal. The whole place felt like a ghost town. You could hear every squeak of our shoes, every word spoken. It was like a practice session, but with a scoreboard. Even the great George Mikan, the man who redefined basketball, couldn't escape the absurdity of the situation. He was a force of nature, a legend in the making, but tonight he was battling more than just the Pistons. He was battling the emptiness, the cold, the sheer oddity of it all. Mikan was used to playing in front of packed houses, roaring crowds. To play in front of 7 people, it must have been incredibly strange, but he was a professional. He played the game. It's said that Mikan, despite the circumstances, played with his usual intensity. Perhaps he saw it as a challenge, a test of his own dedication to the game. The Pistons, despite being the home team, didn't exactly have a home court advantage, but perhaps, in a strange twist of fate, the empty arena worked in their favor. They weren't intimidated by the Lakers' reputation. They were simply playing basketball. We knew we had a chance. There was no pressure. It was like playing in the park with your buddies. We just went out there and played hard. The lack of a crowd created a unique atmosphere, a sense of intimacy. The players could hear each other, communicate more effectively. It was basketball in its purest form, stripped of all the spectacle. The game was surprisingly competitive. The Pistons, fueled by a strange sense of freedom, were giving the Lakers a run for their money. The final minutes were tense, even with only 7 people watching. Imagine being one of those 7 people, witnessing a piece of basketball history, a game played in the most bizarre of circumstances. The game ended, the final score recorded, and the players trudged out into the blizzard. The game nobody watched became a footnote in basketball history, a quirky anecdote, a reminder of the league's humble beginnings. It's a fantastic story. It reminds us that even the NBA, with all its glitz and glamour, started as a small-town league, played in armories and high school gyms. Today, the NBA is a global phenomenon, but stories like the game nobody watched remind us that even the biggest leagues have to start somewhere. They remind us that the love of the game, the passion for competition, can thrive even in the most unlikely of circumstances. The snow eventually melted, the armory filled with crowds again, and the game nobody watched faded into memory. But the echoes of that strange night, the sounds of basketball in an empty hall remain, a testament to the resilience of the players, the dedication of the fans, and the enduring power of a game played for the love of the sport, even when nobody was watching. Want more forgotten sports stories? Subscribe and hit that notification bell for your next dive into basketball history.